The Greek philosopher Socrates once said that love is divided into figurative love and abstract love, and that abstracted love is the love of the soul, which cannot be seen, touched, or heard, love, which is silent and invisible. But there are always exceptions to the rule. Light is also silent and invisible, but when the Tyndall effect comes into play, light takes on a shape. My name is Tangia. I'm a graduate student at the Capitol Conservatory of Music, and this is my second year of grad school. The profession I'm studying is called vocal engineer, frankly, which is to tweak the demos of some composers and singers. I have a natural sensitivity to music. Ever since I was in elementary school, exercises were playing on the radio and I would beat the beat on my desk. Later, I was admitted to the Capitol Conservatory of Music, and because of my talent, the teacher who took me there got me into graduate school. So, I stayed at the college as a matter of course. In the second year of study, there are not as many classes as in the first year, and the teacher suggests that more time should be spent on practicing. I've been going to the studio ever since. Of course, lately, there is something. I was there to see someone. After class, I ran as fast as I could with my bag. I collared my bag and propped my hands on my knees to catch my breath. When I looked up, I saw Yushi staring at me. Hi, I walked over here as soon as I got out of class.
Your last class was P?
Haha, I'm just working out. I pursed my lips resentfully and resisted the urge to roll my eyes. Yushi probably thought that I looked funny at the moment and couldn't hold it in. I saw him tug dramatically at the corners of his mouth. I met Yushi in philosophy class. Yushi is the boy who helped me pick up my books in philosophy class before. I admit that in this world of faces. The reasons for wanting to meet him in the first place were indeed obvious and superficial. He's really good looking. You have beautiful eyes.
What did you say?
Why did I say that? I just suddenly a lyric comes to mind. Let's begin today's composition.
Did you listen to the tune yesterday?
I had listened. It feels a little subtle.
Subtle. What does subtle mean?
Why is it that the tunes you write always feel? How so? You can write upbeat tunes. It feels like your tunes are always down.
What's an upbeat tune like? Can you describe it?
Describe? How would I describe it? It's probably very sunny, very spring-like.
What's it like?
I didn't think he'd ask me a question like that. He stared at me without any expression on his face. Looks calm, like he really doesn't know what it's like. I don't know what to say. I've noticed from the moment we met. Yushi seems to be a pretty puppet without much emotion. I've never seen any ups and downs on his face. I wondered at the time if it was because geniuses might be always short in the head. The most important thing a creator can have is an emotional experience. It's funny, the No.1 musical talent at the conservatory asked me today how to narrate the expression of a cheerful tune. In the past, I would have started laughing at him, but today I can't. Haven't you ever been very happy, and what do you think about when you're very happy?
I don't know.
I haven't known him long. I don't really understand what's going on here. It's fine. I flashed him a smile. From the time I met him to accidentally encountering him in the recording studio later on. Because I am a natural socializer, I started asking him questions as soon as I saw him. He doesn't seem to care that people were familiar with him or not. After a while, we'd meet here every day. He writes songs and composes them. I help him with the tunes. Let's go to the neighborhood park tomorrow and compose a song.
And why?
Don't think too much. Tomorrow afternoon at 3 o'clock, I'll see you at the park outside the school gate. I didn't give him a chance to say no. I picked up my bag and ran. I stood early under the willow tree at the entrance. At 2:50, I saw Yushi with his guitar at the school gate. Yushi, here! He was slowly coming toward me. The sun beat down on him, gilding the edges of his. He was got shaggy hair. His amber pupils were glowing. The distance from there to my side is only a few dozen meters. I feel like he's been gone for a century. It is said that love is silent and invisible, and when some effects appear, even the same light becomes an exception to the rule. What about when you show up? I feel like my heart is beating so fast I can't even breathe. That voice is ringing in my ears again. Love is invisible and silent. But right now, everything seems to have a shape. We found a corner in the park by the shade of a tree. Why are you pulling out your guitar so quickly? What's the rush?
Didn't we come here to compose?
Don't be in a hurry. You can look at the scenery and blow off some steam first.
Boring.
Close your eyes and feel what the wine feels like on your face. I saw him close his eyes gently. I got up to his face and watched his reaction. It was the first time I'd ever looked at him that close. It was like I could see the fuzz on his face. He suddenly turned around with his eyes closed. I couldn't back away in time and his cheek accidentally touched my lips. I stepped back and dodged. He slowly opened his eyes.
What's wrong?
Nothing.
It feels itchy.
What tickles?
There's a wind.
I'm relieved. Turns out it's the wind. And what about?
It feels like the sun is shining, and it's warm too.
Look at this shade, with the sunlight coming through inside. My teacher in my philosophy class told me that when the Tyndall effect came into play, light took shape. I look up at the shade of the trees overhead. I didn't realize that Yushi was looking at me right now. I'm watching the sunlight pour into the shade, and Yushi is watching me. And do you feel it now? Something cheerful, warm, like spring.
Not particularly understand yet.
It's fine. So do you like to come out and compose? It's better than staying in a dreary classroom.
Yes.
I later learned from Yuji's mentor that he was born a musician. Both parents are renowned musicians. From the age of 6, Yushi was forced to learn a wide variety of musical instruments with little time for playtime. His parents were meticulous. They had strict requirements for Yushi. He didn't have a normal childhood. All through childhood, he spent his time with the sound of stern instruction and the ticking of a metronome. He's like a groomed music machine. No unnecessary emotions of his own. No one ever told him. The wind is nice on the face. The cake is sweet. And spring is the most beautiful season of the year. When I came out of Mentor Yuji's office, Yushi was waiting for me at the door with his guitar on his back.
Is Mr. Chen talking with you for something?
Yeah, a little something.
That tune you were talking about before. I feel like I'm getting some clues. I don't know if that's it.
I'll wait and listen. He brought me his pre-recorded demos. I plugged in my headphones.
How are you feeling?
How can I describe it? It's like a river that's been dry for a long time and suddenly it's trickling. In the following days, every time I think of this tune, I seem to be able to understand it a little bit. Light will be the exception. Then you will too. Have you found that feeling I was talking about? Did you give a name for this tune?
Yes, I did.
What's it called?
Tan, Gia.
He suddenly called my name. What?
I called it Tan, Gia. Tan means playing, and Gia means beautiful.
Tangia, Tangia. I stared at him in disbelief, repeating over and over what he said.
What was that feeling you said last time?
It's cheerful and warm, like spring. My heartbeat seems to have missed a beat, which happened to make up for the beat one the first time I saw him.
Then I guess I found it. Feeling cheerful, feeling warm. Probably, like you.
There was a gust of wind that blew in through the classroom window, and it seemed to blow into my heart.
So, you are my spring.
I felt the wind on my face, and it did, a little itchy. Later, Yushi told me that he'd been watching me since a long time, even before my heart started to move. He had heard that there's a girl at the academy who's a genius at recognizing the beat of an instrument. He couldn't understand how someone could be carefree every day as if they had no worries. He started watching me on the sly. He noticed that I smiled every day, and I could be happy about any little thing for a long time, as if I really never had any worries. And then I took him to my favorite exhibition. Took him to my favorite sweet treat, took him to my favorite hangout. All the things he's never experienced. I took him through it all, in the following days. Somewhere he doesn't know, in my heart. I thought quietly, actually, you're my spring.